Hello, welcome witches and ghouls. We hope that you've been having a lovely week. We're back with Grimrose Academy, episode 4. We've got lots of goodness to share with you all today. And of course, the first and foremost is to thank our sponsor, Roll20. Thank you, Roll20, for sponsoring today's episode. You can go check them out. We have a little link down below if you want to click that and all the goodness. But if you see all of our lovely dice rolling, how magical it looks and all of that jazz, it's because Roll20. So thank you to them for sponsoring today's episode. And of course, beyond that, we do have our merch that we would like to show off. So you can head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/roll for it to get yourself some swag. And of course, you got to keep warm now that the fall season is coming and winter is soon on its way beyond. It's crazy to think that it's almost that time of the year. What's happening? We were just discussing that in the pre-show. We're like, what is this? This is madness. And of course, we do have our show coming tomorrow that you will not want to miss. Come check out Out of Control. It will be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. It will be a 3-hour running one-shot where computer programs try to survive a crashing computer. It's going to be madness, I'm certain. And of course, with us, we have Katie Peter Plays. We also have Trooper, and we have Little Red Dot, as well as me and Nerdburger Craig, who will be not only sponsoring the show, being awesome and running the Code Warriors Kickstarter, but also he'll be jamming us. So you'll want to tune into that for lots of fun. One-shots are always madness because we can kind of do whatever. I'm going to post a link here for you guys in chat so you can check out the sponsor link. There we go. Click that link, head on over there and check out the Kickstarter. There's lots of cool rewards. There's special dice. There's all kinds of goodies. So not only are you supporting an amazing project for creative people to make new games, because we need some new types of games out there. D&D is not the only one. And you also get some cool rewards in return for supporting them. And beyond that, you can also become a supporter. Today's supporter is Thunder Cabbage. So thank you so much, Thunder Cabbage, for supporting today. We appreciate you. Let's get some real love in chat for them. And of course, if you want to become a supporter, you can also head on over to our Patreon. Patreon is the best way to support us because not only do you help pay for these lovely faces on here, these wonderful cast mates, but you also get some cool rewards in return. Like right now, you can head on over there and put NPC names in the list. And your NPC names may get seen here, like Maya Shadow, names like that. And of course, if you are a patron, you can get access to our Legend Tier games, which are private sessions. The Legend Tier folks did some things, and it's going to affect today's episode. So we shall see what happens with that. And of course, there's many, many more rewards over there. Thousands, literally. And of course, you can sub to us right here on Twitch, where you can become a subscriber and get access to emotes and VODs in advance. And we always upload to YouTube, which you can become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes as well. And whether you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or a patron supporter, you can get access to our private Discord, where we have many thoughts and discuss many things with you. So you definitely want to get access to that. But we understand not everyone can support us in monetary means. So, do what's best for you and your family first. But of course, watching here live and making clips, because you can only do those when we're live, is super duper helpful for us. Of course, you can go over to YouTube and watch our YouTube videos, subscribe, like, comment, and of course, heading on over to our Twitter and Facebook. Both of those places, liking, sharing, retweeting, commenting, all of those things help the algorithm find more of our lovely stories so that we can continue sharing them with people all over the world. And with that, we will begin today's episode. Of course, with a little Wicked Witch announcement. You can't have an episode without it. Witches of Grimrose Academy. I know most of you avoid homework at all costs, but for all those nerdy witches out there, if you've been wondering why the Archive of Reverie has been out of commission, I've heard our beloved Weeping Elder Elm weeps no more. They've been trying their hardest to keep everything on lockdown, but you know me, I love revealing a good secret. So far, my intel is a couple witches were caught doing magic after hours, but there has been no confirmation of who they were and what they were up to. As our Empress was leaving this morning, the old groundskeeper, Allegory, aka Allegory's father, was spotted. Word has it that he's returned to help care for the Elder Elm. And our dear Dean and her daughter Persephone, or should we say Phony, were both coincidentally nowhere to be found during the incident. Curious what all went down. If you have any info, you know where my DMs are. Slide on in. Hexo, hexo, wicked witch. And our camera is going to flashback a little to an opening scene where an immaculate office space is laid out. There's a desk with ornate trinkets on it, but they're perfectly placed, so much that they look more like they're there for show than actual functionality. We see Persephone going to knock on the door, but before her hands meet the wood, the door swings open. And before her, she can see her mother standing there in a very clean pink robe, her hair tightly in a nice neat bun, green stern eyes looking straight at her. Ah, you arrived. Come in.
Yes, Mother.
As soon as she walks in, the door shuts behind her. I know before I told you that I couldn't tell you things, but it's for your safety.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you should know some things.
Really?
Yes. Persephone. I don't want us to be like this.
Your sound completely out for me.
My sound, is it cutting out again?
Oh, there you are.
So weird. I thought this was fixed. You know what? We might switch to something else. We'll figure it out. But I will do my best. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't want us to be like this, is what she says to you.
What would you like us to be like?
Well, I was just trying to keep you safe.
So you said.
I know, it's not. Maybe it's best I just show you. And she takes her book out from a drawer. It's very clean looking. It has a gold inlay on it, and the book itself is like a light plush pink. And she opens it up and she starts reading something and moving her hands. And before the two of you, a portal opens up. The portal itself, like on the outside of it, has like a little almost filmy edge to it. But in the center, you can see in front of you what looks like maybe some kind of fountain or something like that. It's hard to tell because it's like a little filmy.
What's this?
This is where we're going to go.
Okay, we're right now?
Yes. I've already spoken to your teachers. They expect you to be gone for a few hours. And
okay.
probably until tomorrow.
Okay.
And she motions for you to step in, but before you do, or anything of that sort, you see your mother's fen shifter appear, and it jumps through the portal first.
should I be bringing Dahlia with me, or?
If you'd like.
I would.
And she does a motion, and Dahlia appears like on the floor next to you, but she's still curled up in like a little ball where she was like on the bed and sleeping, but now she's like sleeping on the floor next to you.
Dahlia, sorry to wake you, but we're going somewhere.
Oh, I was dreaming. Where are we going?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Dahlia stands up, stretches like their front legs, and looks towards the portal.
Oh, that's my home.
Your home?
Yeah.
Your mother hears you say that as well and says, "Yes, this is where many shapeshifters live."
Oh, okay.
Let's go. Hurry on. We don't have much time.
I don't know what to say, Mother, but I guess should I go through now?
Please. She says, "Oh, is it cutting out again?" She said, "Can you hear me yet?" No? Yes, you can?
There you are.
Okay, weird. Actually, if you guys all can pop into Discord in the general cast channel, I think we're gonna swap pulling audio there and just mute yourself in Zoom. Testing.
Wow. That did something to my voice.
Perfect. I think this will solve our issues for now. Just waiting on one more person and then we're good. Oh, strange. Like that. Are you able to get in the channel?
I am testing mine.
You're muted on Zoom. Sorry, thanks guys for bearing with us. We didn't have the issue in the pre-show, so we're just trying to figure out how to resolve. I'm just trying to make a quick solution for now. I think this should work though. Yes, happy October 1st, everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yay.
Sorry, I've never
Perfect.
actually done that with Discord before, so new thing for me.
All good. I figured this is like a quick solution and, we'll figure out from there. So, you hear your mother say, "Please," as she motions towards the portal.
And I'm a little taken aback by the fact that she's being the way that she is, but I nod and walk through the portal.
Yeah, she's being nice. That's strange.
Yeah, it's creeping me out. She might be a pod person. Have to investigate later.
Might be. And you walk through. As you walk through, you feel that cold feeling that you've felt when you've walked through other portals. And as you enter in, you see a large fountain and stairways that go up and down on the left and right of the fountain. And to the right and left of those stairways are like these huge brush trees with beautiful flowers on them that smell very nice. And at the top of the stairs walks down this almost elk-like creature, but it's shifting in its space, and it almost has a green particle look to it. It's not a full body of something, like you can see through it. It almost is like celestial to some extent, as it walks towards you. And it bows down, and your mother also bows. And that's kind of where we're going to leave you all. And we're going to pan over to Allegory. You know that your father is coming today, and he is waiting for you outside. There's like a bunch of, actually, you know exactly where this is because Violet took you there to sneak into the Archive of Reverie. But there are a bunch of roots outside, and your father is out there inspecting those roots. You've been told that he's out there in that area of the garden. So you know where to find him. Do you go to see your father?
I'm sure Allegory is probably, if he's in the room with Zahir, he's pacing back and forth and trying to like mess with this room, but at the same time like busying himself, and he's very anxious.
Do you go though to see your father or not?
He would eventually, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As you walk towards the roots where your father is, because you could say no and be like, all right. You see him kind of, he's bent down over what looks like this giant root. It's in fact the root that you know Violet lifted in order to get into the tunnel to make your way to the Archive of Reverie. Your father is also a giant, well, more fully a giant, so he's much larger than you. But as he's bent down, kind of examining this root, he looks as though he is maybe your height at that range. But if he were to stand up, he'd be like double your height. He has kind of wild look about him as well, and really messy hair, but very soft, tender eyes. And he's wearing what looks like a yellow robes with patchy cloth on it and vines all sprung about it. And the vines themselves sprouting different little flowers and bits. And around the belt of his robe, there are some tools that are dangling. And some of them are clanking as he's bending over and looking down. And you hear him say,
Allegory. Son, come.
Hi, Allegory.
What do you see here?
I see a root.
Look closer.
Markings of magic.
Closer.
Age.
Yes. This is part of the Elderum. It has grown so far, from inside all the way out. Did you know that long ago, the school was not even here? The tree was built before.
I would think it grew and wasn't built, Father. Because trees grow.
Yes. Building, growing.
I heard you were summoned.
Yes. Something's wrong here.
he grabs your hand, and his hand is much larger than yours as he cups yours and places your hand on the tree, if you're okay with that. And the two of you kind of feel the life of the tree coming through. And it's almost like there's some kind of magic that your father's casting as his hand lightly glows and yours within it also feeling the same thing.
What is the tree feeling, son?
It feels relieved.
Yes.
As
Many,
if-
many years it has mourned.
Why? Why do you think it's mourned? Were you around then?
I was not around when it began mourning, but I think that whatever was causing it to be sad is no longer there. But with that, it now will not live forever.
Isn't that the way of the world, though? Things shouldn't live forever.
It can be, but sometimes you must go against your nature to help others.
But what if you can go with your nature and help others at the same time?
Well, that is the idealist in you.
Maybe that's how things should be.
Perhaps, but there are always things we can't control.
But we can try to understand them.
Some things you can't understand. Allegory. The tree, the elder elm, it wept to protect the school.
To protect it from what?
That is a story for another day.
Then, okay. Why don't we do that now?
Because there's something else I wanted to talk to you about.
I feel like I'd rather talk about this. I feel like this is more important to the state of the world than anything else.
He stands up and puts his hand around you and over one of your shoulders, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And he looks at you with his very soft eyes, and you can see concern as he's looking towards you.
I understand. You probably know what I'm going to talk about, and it is hard. But son, like this tree, you too must be relieved from your grief.
I bonded with a spirit, an animal.
Ah, that is good to hear. A soul binding is, well, very
It's
beautiful moment.
a panga cub, Dad.
Allegory. Why?
Because
You know what happened.
and I know that you think that it's in the creature's nature, and I think you don't understand them.
Some creatures' natures can't change.
I think it's you that refuses to change.
I try to change, just as the wind does in the seasons.
Just because of what happened doesn't mean that all of them. It doesn't mean it was done with intent.
Well, there's nothing we can do to change what happened.
No, but we can learn from it and give the creatures the benefit of the doubt and respect them for what they are and not think they're some evil maniacal murder machines.
Be careful, Allegory.
Just because one of them killed Mother does not mean that it wanted to.
I'm not saying that it wanted to kill your mother, but she was a kind soul. I don't understand why the creature would have done what it did.
Well, it's my fault.
Allegory, it is not your fault.
I went to see it, and Mom came looking for me, and there was a noise, and it startled it, and it got aggressive. And I was fine. I, it was an accident.
Your father pulls you closer to him in a full embrace.
I understand, but you must let this grief go. Your mother would not want it.
What makes you think you know her better than I did?
Oh, I don't think I know her better than you. But I just know that she loves you. Lily Gree would not want you to be sad and hold this grief with you for years to come, no matter what happened. And perhaps you are right. I will be open-minded to your Pango Cub.
Why don't we... It's frustrating that you're always so understanding and don't fight with me, and it's annoying.
Well, if we fought all the time, I don't think it would be healthy.
Like
And
a flower that... Sorry.
We've been long overdue a conversation like this. I'm sorry it took me so long.
I think I know what's going on with the tree.
What happened?
Zahir and I snuck out, and we did magic when we weren't supposed to. That we'll probably find out later, but I think we did what was important. We're the reason the tree's not mourning anymore.
What did you find was important?
Making the tree not mourn anymore. He's very obviously lying.
Well, I suppose that's good.
Dad,
Yes.
I met the bookworm.
Oh,
I thought you'd want to see what it's like. And he'll hand him the little scribbles and notes that he wrote about the bookworm.
oh, thank you. I haven't seen the bookworm in so long. How
You-
was he?
Shy, but helpful.
Always the case with them, the bookworms.
Zahir's not
enjoy
going to get in
seeing
trouble,
them.
right?
Well, you might both get in trouble, very likely. But I will leave that to the dean to decide. My
If-
job here is to check on the Elder, do what I can for it in its last bits of life.
If you can, just say it was my fault.
I'll agree.
Zahir has more to lose, and I don't want him to lose that. I don't want him to have to leave.
I will see what I can do.
It's my fault.
Please, son. Do what you need to grieve. But you must talk about it. We have gone far too many years pretending like everything is fine.
I miss her.
I miss her too.
And he's just gonna hug.
Yeah, I think we end that scene with the two of you embracing and maybe some tears from your father that you haven't seen in a long, long time.
Gotta
We
be careful, they'll splash people away.
Yeah. We pan back to Persephone. You've been taken to this magical land that is quite beautiful. It's also similar to your home in the sense of how like pristine it is and everything's immaculate and clean to some extent. But over this time, you find that this creature kind of guides the two of you, your mother and you, and actually the four of you and your two fen shifters, to a space where it opens up and there is what looks like kind of like a training grounds. In the center of this big arena there's like these long poles with huge circles in them, and they go to tiny, tiny circles from like here all the way down, right? It's like you have to jump through the hoops and go through them. And then like there's these like poles where you have to stand on them and balance. And you can see these other fen shifters kind of doing these stunts is what it looks like. And it almost is a little kind of whimsical and exciting as you come into this space. You went from where you thought something was super serious was going down, and then it's this is what's happening. And your mother says to you, training session will begin now.
Training for what?
We've won every year, at least when I was your age. It is the Enchanted Circle Arena. It's a tournament for our familiars to test their strengths.
Why? What, is there a reason?
Well, the more keen your familiar is, the more they'll be able to aid you, and vice versa. It also strengthens your connection, your bond.
I'm confused though. I thought you were protecting me from something. This doesn't seem like a thing I need to be protected from.
It'll make sense.
Oh, okay. Where do I start?
Perfect. And your mother will, we're going to fast forward for this, but basically you and your friend shifter and your mother's friend shifter, she shows you basically how to do all these tricks, and your friend shifter does those tricks, and you kind of copy what she's doing to get them to jump through these hoops of flaming things and to type walk on these strange little pieces. And it all seems like odd to you, as you were saying. You're like, why do I need to know these things? Why do I need to do this? But your mother continues to insist that it is going to help you in the future. But it does seem like she's being cryptic in regards to it.
And definitely clock that.
Yeah. And as you leave, once the training is done, you go out through that same portal, but you can see the office that's there. And when you do so, you're greeted immediately by what looks like two people in pink robes. They look like they're part of the keepers. I can't talk. The disciples, keepers' disciples. And they look very serious. And your mother looks at you as you walk out and says, Persephone, please go back to your room.
And I think Persephone looks a little crestfallen after, like, this is probably the most bonding, quote unquote, she's had with her mom in,
and she
like,
immediately
ever.
snaps back, into this.
And Persephone kind of shrinks into herself a little bit and just nods and excuses herself from the room.
And do you listen a little, or do you immediately leave and walk out?
Oh, I think I'm going to let Dahlia help me listen in because she's got that good hearing.
What do you say to Dahlia?
What are they saying?
Let me try.
And Dahlia kind of listens up on the door, and we can make a roll and see.
Oh no!
This will be, unless you're using magic, which I'm assuming you probably aren't going to do here. Let's look
no, because I've got Dahlia. So
yeah, let's look at your friend shifter. We'll roll. You'll roll off of their sheet.
All right.
What do you think is going to assist them in this case?
Let's see. Well, large-eared.
I would agree.
Likes conversations, so probably is also invested in listening in.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Perceptive.
Yes, 100%.
So I think that's the 3 that I've got.
The auto snap into kind of like cold mum feels a bit rude to me and might feel a bit rude to Dahlia. And she hates rudeness.
Ooh.
That's true. I like that.
That's nice. Anything else you think would be helpful?
I think that you just worked with Dahlia to do all these cool tricks and stuff might be useful.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
You got
So
a
that
little
gives me
training in.
5.
Yeah. And potentially she might be able to pick up on your mother's voice more than the other 2. But
Yeah.
let's see. It's a 5.
All right.
Critical success right off
What?
the bat. Dang.
What?
Starting it off strong. Well, so you get to tell us how this looks, what happens, and also tell us, one of your coven gets a stat change too. So I think you could pick anybody here because no one is like directly involved in this, so you can pick whoever you want.
Okay. Goodness gracious.
You can pick Zahir, he's the stat.
Oh my god, he has so many.
Right? I want to listen in first and then make a determination on which character makes the most sense to give a stat to, because I have a feeling it'll be whoever I let in on what's going on.
Okay.
So Dahlia presses her ear up against the door, and I can hear she's basically giving me the running commentary as, you know, in my head as she's listening in. But she's so perceptive, and we're so bonded that it's almost like I'm getting like an echolocation vision of the conversation in the room while it's happening. So I get this like it's almost like watching a really fuzzy movie while I'm getting this conversation. I don't know what they're saying. I'm guessing that's still something you're going to fill me in on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I imagine since it's a critical success that it's like I'm getting it more than I expected to on like a different level.
Yeah. You hear the conversation and it's being portrayed to you through Dahlia, but you can kind of tell who's talking in this situation, and you hear,
What is it? I got your message. I was in the middle of something. Ma'am, it appears something has happened with the Weeping Elder. We've shut down the Archive of Reverie. Well, what is it? What happened? Do you know? It's no longer weeping. It appears to have lost its flame. What? How? We're not sure about that yet. We're trying to track down the bookworm, but the roots of knowledge seem to have collapsed. We're trying to assist the Guardians in fixing it, but it's not looking good. Get the nature spirits on the call. Hurry, quickly. And anything else? Were there any students walking around? Were there any other people spotted? Yes, there was. We found that there were 2 students. They were casting magic. Bring them in for questioning, quickly.
and that's the conversation that you're hearing.
Okay. I think I know where I want my stat to go.
All right.
Because listening in on this, I have a sense of who might have done something from my own cadre here. But because it's something to do with the elm specifically, my first thought goes to Allegory, because plants. And I'm worried hearing this that maybe he's done something to get himself in trouble.
All right.
So I'd like to give him an additional thing of silver-tongued.
Ooh.
So that he has a better chance of coercing, or not coercing, but smoothing the situation over verbally.
Allegory's learning to be better at speaking. I'll take that. Maybe not so much public
Silver-tongued.
speaking, but yeah. Are you okay with that? Does that sound good to you, or would you
Yeah.
like to adjust it a little?
I mean,
I don't want it to be like lying. I just want it to be like that you're able to kind of weave the conversation a little easier.
I think it's very fitting simply because of what this conversation he just had with
his
dad.
father.
He wants to be silver-tongued to protect his friends.
Yeah. And you told your father to lie too, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
So, okay. Ooh. All right. Things get spicy. And with that, Persephone, when you arrive in your room, or before you arrive in your room, like once you're walking in the hallway, you get another letter. This time it is on the outside. It just says, what does it say on the outside? She gave me a description, but I lost it. One sec. I thought I wrote it down. But it looks a little different than the one that you got from your mother. It has, it's a scroll that is kind of darker in parchment paper, but on top of it, it says, "Read in secret" in large capital letters.
Oh.
And it's like a puff of like shadowy smoke appears before you with the scroll, and it's floating in front of you.
Oh, I'm definitely going to take that and duck into somewhere in the hallway if I can, if there's sort of an alcove or something, because I don't know if I should anticipate Violet being back at the room or not.
Yeah, and I will DM you the letter. If you'd like to read it out loud, you're welcome to. As you dodge into the corner, reading it to yourself.
All right. Helps if I pull up the actual thing. So you want me to go and read it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Hi, Sephi. Miss you loads. I met Violet and she told me you didn't like her. I mean, I was a bit surprised that she replaced me so quick. What? But I think you can give her a chance. I do think she's hiding something, though. Something about her soulbound, her familiar. She doesn't have one. And she said she didn't really think she wanted one. And when she did the ritual, but I don't think that's the truth. Highly suspicious. I hope to see you soon. My Empress carriage is missing your amazing decorative style, and my heart is missing your companionship. All my love, Bellspree. P.S. Give me all the deets on you and Allegory. P.P.S. You should probably destroy this. How long have I been gone? And like, I totally destroy the hell out of that letter.
Oh, how are you destroying it?
I'm gonna. I imagine that there's a candle around somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's the candelabras everywhere. There's sconces.
I'm
with lights.
gonna light it on fire and I'm gonna burn it.
Yeah, we see the burning flame of the candle, and we are going to pan over to Zahir and Violet. As the two of you are meeting up, because you made an agreement that you are going to explore the Grim Tower together. Where do you meet exactly? Like, what is the location that you're going to meet at before you go?
I mean, I'm totally cool. I mean, I'm totally cool with meeting in Zahir's room. The Discord thing. I'll get used to it. Meeting in Zahir's room.
Yeah, I would take. Yeah, whatever you say, I would be like, okay, you know the school better than I do because I just got here. So I'd also be very like curious what Zahir and Allegory's room is like. So yeah, I would definitely meet you in the room.
Describe what your room looks like as Violet arrives and knocks on the door.
So there are two beds on either side of the room, but the ground is significantly different. On one side, bordered with stones, there's grass and flowers growing practically from the ground, and on the other side, the floor is covered with furs to cover the kind of stone that's the entire room is made of. There's a font near one of the beds filled with water that seems to ripple by itself, and on the other side, there are trellises against the walls covered in more greenery. Up above, there are even more trellises all the way to Zahir's, it's pretty obvious at this point, side of the room, covered with vines that seem to trail up into the ceiling. Little flowers seem to come down from above. Zahir's got a 4-poster bed covered with really thick, warm quilts, but they all kind of look repaired and patched. It's cozy, but it's clear Zahir's didn't like buy this stuff fresh. Also, there's currently the sound of music, someone singing from the room, because Zahir's lying on the bed with his eyes closed, one arm behind his head, next to what seems like a gigantic cushion, like a black cushion, singing a lullaby to it.
Nice. And before Violet knocks on the door, Zahir, please swap one of your characteristics to somber. Which one are you going to swap?
I'm going to swap my self-doubt for somber.
Yeah, I think you have been less self-doubting.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the knock on the door from Violet.
Come in, come in. Rock-a-bye Gwillem on the treetop. What's going on? Oh, right.
I need to get on my decorating.
I mean, Allegory and I did this together over like the course of a week. Hold on, he's asleep.
Just a week?
Allegory can make plants grow by magic, and I can water plants by magic.
I'm just in awe, like looking around this room and then noticing that you're singing to what did you say it looks like a pillow?
It looks like a big, kind of spherical cushion, black, fuzzy spherical cushion. Yeah.
What is that?
That's Gwillem.
That's Gwillem?
Yeah, he rolls up when he goes to bed. Allegory went off after like pacing back and forth. I think his dad's in town, which is kind of freaking him out. And Gwillem was not sleeping well, so he came up here and, sang him to sleep. You okay?
Yeah, I feel like I'm finally getting my feet planted here. Kinda.
Best be careful with that kind of assumption. Sometimes the floor can shift right underneath you.
I don't know where Persephone went.
Probably something to do with her mom.
When she lived with Bellspree, did she like give Bellspree like a heads up? Does she do this a lot?
Persephone's under a lot of stress. I mean, when your mom's the dean of the school, it's gonna like drain you, right? So there'd be these times, letters like in the middle of the night, and Persephone would have to run off. She didn't usually say where she was going, but we just assumed,
Then I guess I can start to just assume that it's something to do with her mom every time she's gone.
Well, I imagine that if it was something more drastic, someone would let you know. Yeah.
I just feel like everything's been a little bit in flux since I've been here. Sneaking around, and then what happened to the tree?
I pull out my phone, and to everyone's utter shock probably, Wicked Witch is up. Apparently it stopped weeping. I'm gonna delete it right after this.
I thought you didn't read these.
I do not. I do, and frankly, I'm kind of offended by just how many times we show up in this thing.
Did you go back and read the archive?
I kind of couldn't resist.
Now you know why I check it every day.
That's obsessive. Violet, I mean, what good is going to come out of it?
It's morbid curiosity. Don't you want to know what people are saying about you?
I know what people are saying about me.
What are they saying?
Everything from he's poor to he's a bit weird to oh, look how lucky he is, surrounded by all these exceptional students. I bet he and Persephone are best friends. I bet that's the only reason why he even is friends with Persephone. Stuff like that. People don't have a tendency to believe that, reality is real, I guess.
How do you know people are saying this? Do you overhear them?
I kind of like scratch behind one of my ears, and it grows fur and grows a bit larger. People aren't usually quiet enough around me.
Okay. Well, at least I know if I whisper, you'll hear me.
Mostly. It can be a bit distracting, surrounded by things. But we should be fine tonight. Sorry, I forgot. Gwillem stressed me out. I mean, Gwillem stressed out. You get the idea. I'm going to get up off of this bed before he wakes up.
If you don't want to go tonight, that's fine. It's up to you.
Violet, the Grim Tower is my favorite place. Of course I want to go. Plus, it'll be fun to spend time together.
Yeah, I guess it would be fun to maybe ghosts, maybe?
I mean, ghosts can come of all sorts of varieties. Some are nice, some are nice. Say, that cloak looks really warm. You want to leave it here? You good?
No, I mean, the tower looks pretty abandoned. Won't it be drafty? It looks drafty.
Probably, but I was changing the subject because I didn't want to say what ghosts could be. So I really don't care about the answer. Let's just go.
I feel like I can handle it.
And the two of you discussing ghosts on the way to the Grim Tower. You arrive in front of the tower. Similar to the other towers, there is a walkway, but this one is blockaded off a bit. Though, Zahir, because it is your favorite place, you know a way to get through the blockade. How do you do it? Where is like the secret entrance to get into the tower?
There's shortly beside it, there's like a small, what looks to be like a janitorial closet. And one of the cases containing all sorts of cleaning liquids and potions can be pushed aside to reveal the steps to the dungeon. And if you go down into the dungeon, you can then climb a ladder up into the tower.
Yeah. And the two of you kind of make your way in there. As you walk down the ladder, making your way down, the bottom of the ladder, as you step in your final steps, you feel a little dampness, like you hear a splash of water. It's very dark. There's no light. Not like the rest of the school where as you walk, sconces kind of come to life. Nothing. It's dark and quiet. And you hear the sound of your feet touching the water kind of echo in the spaces as if there's nothing else there. You can feel a coolness as you're going down the ladder as you get deeper into what Zahir called the dungeon. And you can smell almost like a moss or like something maybe not like rotting, but like something wet and damp and earthy toned.
So you said it was dark in here?
It is.
As soon as like I step in a puddle and it splashes in my head, I'm like, I'm going to ruin these shoes. I want to cast Bumbling Lights to create light for us.
Paste the description in chat and then let's cast it.
Okay. Should I see if I have anything that will help me?
Yeah. This is one of Violet's original spells.
Would Scrappy? Because it's like a resourceful thing.
In this scenario, I would say that does make sense.
Okay. I don't know if insightful would, but it's like a dark area, so I'm being insightful about that.
Yeah.
Can I use a hate?
Ooh, I mean, maybe. What do you think?
I'm deciding on something, like I need light, so I'm making light happen.
I would say more akin to hating rules, because we are definitely breaking the rules.
I think it's more hating rules than the
Yeah.
deciding thing. Because I don't think you're like you're having a situation where you have to make a decision. I think it's more of a you're kind of breaking the rules here.
You also
Okay.
have discerning eyes.
That is true, so I'm discerning that the room is dark.
Yes, your discerning eyes actually help you in this scenario. Tyler's
Okay,
like, damn it. And then let's see, what else do we have here? Zahir, you admire Zahir. You take time to get to know you. I don't think you're really helping him necessarily, but maybe you want to show off to him. Is that kind of the thing that's happening here?
Well, I mean, am I helping him though by letting him see?
You are
Yeah.
helping him, but that's not why you admire him, though.
Yeah, I probably, in a way, am trying to show off a little bit. Like, oh, I can help in this scenario. I have some skills too.
Yeah, I will allow that. And then the other element of it is this is very much you are a Grimrose, so you get a bonus just for that.
That's 6.
And you're in the Grim Tower, 7.
Wow. Okay. And just to make sure my spells are still at 1. or 0, correct?
For Bumbling Lights, it should be, that's your level 1 spell, right? It should be level
Okay.
1.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah. That was
Right.
your original spells. All of those original spells should start at level 1.
Okay.
It's just if you make a new one, then it starts at 0. And we have another crit. 19. Ooh, all right. Well,
I look
describe to
forward
us
to
what
mine.
this looks like, how it works, all that.
It's immediately as the moss like smell hits my nose and I step into that first puddle and it like, I can feel it, my boot getting a little wet. I'm immediately like, I'm not doing this. And so I close my eyes, and when I open them, there's like if Zahir looks at me, my pupils are glowing. And then I bow my head down and I blow out of my mouth, and these wisps of light start to form into little balls, I guess is the best, or orbs. Orbs is a better word. And they kind of dance around each other, and they're different sizes, and it floats wherever I move my hand to where I need it, like if you had a flashlight, but I just wave my hand and it will move the lights one way or the other. This should help. It's so dark in here.
That is, wow. You gotta teach me that. I mean, Allegory would get a kick out of it because, well, no fire, just light.
Yeah, it's like lightning mumbles. They're one of my favorite things in the summertime to watch outside.
I love summer. You could just sit in the warm air and kind of bake.
Mm. You like being warm, don't you?
What do you mean?
Well, you said you were cold in the Elder Elm, and then you had a lot of blankets on your bed.
That's because if I let one of them stay home, I'd be offending like 3 different family members.
Oh.
I'm not cold very often. It was so strange. I felt a chill to my bones for, I think, the first time in my life. I've been in the dead of winter without a shirt on, and I haven't felt cold. But this... everything was damp and freezing, and I felt like I couldn't move.
Are you
Just like being
okay?
trapped. Of course I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?
He says, of course I'm fine. The two of you, actually, let me look at your stats here.
Also, should I be getting another stat?
Yeah, that's also another thing. What stat with the crit would you like to give to Zahir?
Let me look at the sheet.
And also, I think both of you, primarily because Zahir is inquisitive and you are discerning, something is moving in the shadows, off in the distance. Like you heard like a skittering and something move, and the little feet touching water.
Okay, for a stat, when you say I'm fine, can I tell that you are not fine?
Yeah.
I think, can I give you the personality trait of concealing?
Sure.
Ooh.
And I
Oh.
probably, if I notice that you're not being fully honest, is that the kind of fine you say when you're not really fine? Because that sounded like a fine when you're not fine.
It's the kind of fine I say where I don't want to worry someone.
I'm not. Worrying is it's how you show someone you care. If you don't worry about someone, then you don't care.
Human beings can only care about so many people at the same time. And so can pretty much every other creature on Earth, right? I mean, so can every other creature in Imbrivar, right?
But
I grew up in a big old family. If I couldn't have people worry about me all the time. Because then they wouldn't be able to worry about everyone else.
Violet, as you're listening to Zahir talk about his family, you hear inside your head, and only you hear this.
Help me, Grimrose. Help.
And
I'm
we're
trying
going
to.
pan over to another group of people. We're gonna leave you there for a moment. Allegory, you are looking for Persephone, and you actually see Persephone in the hallway. Persephone is a kind of like, it looks like she just finished doing something to the candle in the hallway, and there's little embers kind of flickering off.
Hi, Persephone.
Huh? What? Oh, Allegory. Hi. Sorry.
Is something wrong?
I was gonna ask the same thing with you. I heard something about the elm not doing so well.
You see him kind of like nervously scratch one of his flowers that's growing on his neck, and my dad's here. He's checking out the tree.
Well, are you gonna dish? Or are you gonna tell me what happened?
Perhaps we should go somewhere where people aren't going to be paying attention to you like they always do.
Fair point.
I know a place.
Okay.
If you're not afraid of the woods.
I'm not afraid of the woods.
He kind of smiles. We're going to the less crowded one.
The two of you make
Oh.
your way to the giant timber thicket. This is a space that has a covert of large trees that bring a shadow deep, deep over this portion of the school. And it kind of encompasses the land a little bit around the one side of this giant island. The area is cold and uninviting. There's a semblance of what used to be a trail as Allegory brings you over there, but it looks very uncared for. And there's been a lot of students who have said that, there's weird stuff in the forest or that you shouldn't go in there. Some people hang out there when they shouldn't be. Very mischievous lands, but nothing really solid, like as far as like, whereas the Grim Tower, people are like, there's a ghost in there. This is more of like, you shouldn't be there, it's dangerous type of thing. And teachers tend to not allow students over there either. But Allegory, you know a way to get through the bramble that is laid on the trails. What's the best route to get to where you're going, and where are you taking Persephone?
The best way around is surprisingly straight through it, but you have to know exactly where to step to avoid the thorns and spines and carnivorous plants that exist. And it's almost like an elegant dance to do it, because it's like particular spots to avoid snares and different things. And he's taking her deep into the forest over by where there's a little trickle of water that seems to settle all the time. It's not his favorite spot, but it's up there. We went in the tree, and Bellspree was here, and we went and talked to the bookworm that lives in the roots of the elder elm, and Zahir took the flame because he said it was sad, and the tree felt relieved, so I thought it was the right thing to do. And then it started falling in on us, and I made sure that it didn't fall in on us. Also, Violet was with us, and she seems really nice.
Way to bury the lead, my friend. Okay.
Where were you? We were worried about you. Did you see that the Wicked Witch thinks that we're an item?
I haven't really seen much of anything because I've been a little preoccupied, but yeah, I might have seen that.
Is everything okay with your mother?
Well, it's never okay with my mother, but it was weird. It was weird, and we like had a moment that was nice, and then it was all gone, and I heard about the tree, even though I'm not supposed to have heard about the tree, and I kind of assumed that if not you and Zahir, that you were probably involved.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get caught. But I think we did what was important for whatever was making the tree sad.
Yeah, but why would making the tree not sad be a bad thing? Because they were really freaking out about it.
Oh, well, the tree's gonna die now. Not like immediately, but it's aging, and it's been around before the school, and so I'm also worried about the bookworm because its home kind of collapsed. But I don't know how much is important. I just know the tree's interconnected with everything, with the roots branching out, and my dad seems concerned. And also we talked about my mom, which I don't talk about often, and she died, by the way. And yeah.
Hey, it's okay, all right? Like, it's a lot of info to process, but I think it's gonna work out. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, but also it's just it's a very interesting, important tree, but not necessarily like the end of the world if we don't have that tree at the school, right?
I don't know. My dad was definitely very concerned, but he seemed more concerned about me. Is your mom? How are you and your mom? You said you had a good moment, and then she went and focused on work stuff again. You know, you don't have to be so hard on yourself.
I kind of don't know any other way of being.
You should just be you. I think a lot of people aspire to that. You especially, with your capabilities, and forget about what your family expects and figure out what you expect of you.
I've been trying, and every time I try, I get pulled back in. And now, like I said, I had this moment with my mother, and it was good, and then it went away, and I mean, I hate the cliche of you don't know what it's like, but that's kind of the truth here. I have a lot of expectations put on me, and there's only so much I can do about them.
I think that I can relate in some degree. Obviously, everybody's experience is different, but my dad used to be the groundskeeper here, and that's a pretty prestigious position. and he's always wanted me to be better. And you know, I think expectations come in different forms. Yours is very public facing and everybody's looking at you. But at the same time, I think even if you are yourself, they'll still look at you the same way. I think it's comes from a sense of admiration and not from a place of waiting for you to fail.
And Persephone's face sort of cracks a little bit. Like, you know, she usually is so together, and looks at you and just, thank you. I don't really hear any of that very often. I mean, Bellsbury is one of the only people to ever say anything like that to me, and it means a lot.
Well, it's just like nature. Things don't often appear to be as beautiful as they actually are, or as good as they are. They might be perceived as bad. And I think that goes the same with us and you and even Zahir. You know, I think people only see what other people say instead of coming to their own conclusions and actually getting to know the person, because they're afraid that in getting to know the person that they'll have to reveal stuff about themselves.
Yeah. Which reminds me, has Violet said anything interesting at all when you were spending time with her? It, you know, revealed any more about herself? I still just have a funny feeling.
I think she's just trying to find a place that she belongs. Her home life wasn't exactly the best. Her parents don't seem to be very nice people.
I understand that. Can we just stay out here for a while today? This is nice. I think I needed this.
Yeah. We can do that. I want Allegory to cast a spell.
I was also curious, did you guys bring your familiars with you?
I did.
No? You did? Okay.
I imagine Allegory, there's a way to, like, because he wouldn't have been with him when he went to see his father.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine seeing your familiar, he probably would have beckoned for his to, like, kind of catch up and find them if possible.
Yeah, we could say that between going to find Persephone and finding her, you get your pet too. So easy enough. What are you casting?
Beckoning nature. It's a new spell because I like new spells.
What are you trying to do?
It calls forth the spirits of the wilderness and has them reveal themselves, much like animals hide in the trees and flowers hide in their buds. It's basically calling them forth.
I would say it needs to be a little bit, that's a little OP, so we can change it a little bit. That it can summon maybe one creature.
Yeah.
Or a plant.
Nature's reveal. I think that's what I called it. Calls forth one. Calls forth one creature or plant to reveal itself.
That'll be for one scene.
Yeah. I'm gonna say.
Oh,
it's
and
true
Violet, don't
self, is
forget
that
to give yourself a check mark for casting.
Oh, yeah.
Successfully.
Okay. All right.
Pop that
forget what I
description
called it
in
initially.
chat,
Mhm.
and then what do you think would be beneficial for you here? Obviously, you're naturing spirit or nurturing spirits. Why can't I talk?
I think one of the animals that he didn't bond with in the pool, the hippo
The
ferret
Firippo?
combo. Firippo, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're by like this little pool of water. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a small pond.
Hmm.
And I feel like it'd be very fitting to have that come out again.
Okay. And what skills do you think would be beneficial here?
Well, I like the wilderness.
Yeah.
I feel like the fur hippo was dancing in the water. I don't know if that counts as a like. But
We'll give it to you.
Caring. I feel like it's kind of like fitting what he just described to Persephone.
Oh, you're trying to
so
like
he's
make
trying to-
her happy type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll allow that.
And it's also like imagery to what he is saying, which is, it's kind of selling the what he's telling Persephone about, some things hide and don't show themselves unless and seen in the right way. I don't know if silver tongued fits that, but
I don't think you're being silver tongued in this situation.
no, I don't think so either. Favorite place in the house being the barn where all animals are kept.
I'll allow that.
And then obviously being of the yellow rose.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
The nurturing spirits. So 5.
5.
5.
All right. Shabam.
Oh my gosh, another crit. You're just gonna all be critting left and right. So we got an 18, not as big of a crit. But tell us what this looks like, how it happens, and then also what characteristic you'd like to give to Persephone, or one that you'd like to change.
Sure. I think since it's a crit, can I have 2 things happen?
Potentially,
Like a
depends on what it
creature?
is. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say having the creature come out, but at the same time, like as we're walking, or not walking back, the path that we came from, you kind of see one of the carnivorous plants flower, and that's it.
Yeah, sure.
And so when the fur hippo comes out, it kind of starts playing with both of our familiars, and kind of dances around, and it just kind of gives us something to kind of watch. And also it's just very fitting for the kind of scene that we were having of things revealing itself and showing true nature. And it's just kind of
Yeah, you see this Firippo kind of spring up from the water. Like you see ferrets when they jump up a little bit, and then it rolls over on its belly, and you can see its little hands and its snout. It's like hippo snout, and it opens its mouth and it blows a bunch of water out of it. And we see Gwillem kind of go over and like drink the water. I don't know, like a weirdo. And he's just like, oh, it spouts water. Look at it, look at it, look at it. And it keeps like spouting the water up in the air, and Gwillem just tries to catch it. And you see the fence shifter, Dahlia's being a little bit more relaxed, but she's kind of lounging in the water, and she is just kind of laughing at the two of them. And
Oh, it's so cute.
and we just see them kind of splashing around in the water and having a little fun. What characteristic do you think will change in Persephone or be added?
And for what it's worth, like at this point, Persephone has this huge grin on her face and looks probably more relaxed than you've ever seen her.
I think Confident.
Ooh. What do you think? Do you think that's a good one, Persephone?
I think it's good. I think that
Alright.
works.
All right. Confidence. As a good friend gives you some confidence, and the two of you enjoy a little show with all of your familiars, plus this Firippo that's jumping around in the water. And we are going to pan over to the other group of folks who we had Zahir telling this very heartfelt description of his family and things that are going on with him. And then, Violet, you heard a whisper in your head.
Help.
I would be trying to intently focus on Zahir. And then in my head hearing this. So I'm just assuming that Zahir can hear it as well.
Sure, you can assume that.
Sorry, I'm probably boring the hell out of you.
Do you not hear that? Someone's whispering for help? Also, I'm so sorry. Before we move on, and I'm just like looking around very distractedly, you can still be lonely even when you're surrounded by people. And I'm
Yeah.
looking for where this is coming from.
Help me. Grimrose.
And I'm like moving my bumbling lights around.
Yeah, you're moving the bumbling lights around, but you don't see anything. You did hear a little while ago, both of you heard and saw something moving down the hallway, like down the
Maybe
area. It's
we
not really a
need-
hallway, it's more like a tunnel.
Maybe we need some comforting atmosphere.
Yeah. Did you see that before? Or was it just something in the corner of my eye?
No, I saw it. Come on.
And the
let's go.
whispering sounds like it's in your head. Like
Okay.
it's inside your head, Violet.
I'm just gonna call out to it. Hello?
Help me, Grimrose. Help.
And then
Where?
the two of you see again a little shifting off in the distance, and it scurries to the left.
You don't have to be afraid of us. Here, come here. I take out a small, it's a small like handful of jerky, and wood chips, and I scatter it on the floor, rubbing my hands as I do, and I'm gonna cast a spell.
Ooh, okay. What you casting?
This one is brand new. It's called Bring the Hearth. It fills the air in the room with a warm, comforting atmosphere, as if a hearth was lit in the room without carbon dioxide or actual fire. So it brings the sense of cooking and food and wood with it.
Okay.
And let's see what would work for this spell. Caring, I think.
Yeah, you're
Right.
trying to coerce this thing out.
I want to help others.
Sure. You like that? I would say trustworthy would be a thing that makes sense here, because you're trying to gain this thing's trust to come over to you.
Yes. Does this count enough as the Grim Tower?
Yes, you are 100% in the Grim Tower, yeah.
And I come from a family that is caring in a house that is warm.
Okay. So that's 6. Plus you are Order of the Flame,
And
which
this
this is
very
definitely an Order of the Flame type of spell.
All right, so this is
So
a 7.
7. I think we're going to have crits nonstop today.
You never know. This could be the time where that changes, right? Just a regular success?
And it says, and you didn't add a +1 to that, right? Because, yeah, you have 0.
No, I did
Okay.
not add a +1.
Regular
It's a level
success. Mark
3.
that as success on the cast, and describe to us what it looks like as you do this.
I kind of like rub my hands like someone would rub a flint, right? And suddenly the scent of the jerky changes from like this kind of sour smelling dried meat into almost the smell of a cooking roast. The room fills with this sort of dry, comforting heat. It doesn't feel overwhelming at all. And there's almost a little light, but you wouldn't be able to tell because of all the other lights in the room.
Yeah, all the little bumbling lights, the little fly bee creatures. It's like a lightning bug and a bumblebee had a baby are like floating around this hearth. And it feels really warm in here. What you once felt was like this almost damp and like mossy smelling area now is filled with just this beautiful warm smell, and almost I would say like the bumbling lights give a nice effect to this, make it quite pretty. So it is very inviting, but it doesn't seem like this, whatever this creature is that's off in the distance, is coming your direction. You hear it making noise around the corner further down this pathway. And you just hear in your head again, Violet.
Help me, Grimrose. Help.
You really
I-
want us to follow it?
It keeps telling me to help me, Grimrose. It's
Then
upset.
it's referring specifically to you. You're the Grimrose here.
And I look from Zahir to down the hall,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll have my bumbling lights kind of go that way, and I'm going to start cautiously stepping.
Yeah. You cautiously step forward as you move forward, and you have your bumbling lights following you, these little lightning bees, and they light up the path before you. The creature that you can see off in the distance is like following the shadows and trying to slink around, and it's almost like it's guiding you somewhere.
I'm going to look over my shoulder and make sure Zahir's coming with me.
Are you coming with?
I'm a few steps away, slowly walking behind, keeping an eye out. The moment I see Violet Luck, I wink.
I think you'd see like a slight smile, but then realizing the seriousness of the situation, looks back and maybe a little. I think the wink would become weirdly comforting, just like, oh, maybe there's not a lot of danger here, so I would start maybe walking more swiftly towards this.
You walk more swiftly, and as you get closer, are you trying to get a better look at what this thing is?
Yeah, I mean, can I put together that this is where the cries are coming from?
Not really, because the cries are in your head. Like it's like in your head. It's like a whispering in your head. So it doesn't sound like it's coming from any direction, but you could maybe make that assumption.
Yeah, I think just assuming that this is what is in my head. So I'm just gonna try to get close to whatever's moving.
If you're trying to look at it to figure out what it is, it will be a roll, or you can continue just following it if you would like.
Can
I kind of want to see what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
So I will roll for that.
Okay. Are you going to use magic to see what it is, or are you just kind of like looking? And I would give you, even if you just do it mundanely, I will give you an environmental bonus because you have your bees up, your little bumbling lights.
I think I'm just gonna. I don't think I think I'm just gonna try to look at it and not use magic.
Okay.
I'm maybe cast my bumbling lights closer to the area or something like that. But I do have discerning eyes.
You do have discerning eyes, and you have the lights.
Insightful.
I'll allow insightful.
Would you allow Scrappy again?
I think Scrappy makes sense.
Okay. Animals.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to be
I
clear,
guess
that's Violet likes animals, not just the existence of
Animals.
animals. I'm looking at all my other things. My house is empty old. This is empty and old, maybe?
I don't
I'm
think that
reaching a
makes
bit.
sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I went to
Um,
great effort to cast a spell to make sure it didn't feel empty. Oh, thank you.
I know you did. So is that 5?
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay,
So
and just
it'll be
roll a flat D2D8.
Yeah, it's at the top.
the 5.
It'll say roll 2d8 above the about me section. 13. Success. All
Is
right.
this thing hiding in like shadows and such?
Yeah, describe to me what it looks like as you find it, and then I will tell you what it looks like.
Okay, so I look over my shoulder and see that Zahir's still there. So I'm going to pick up my pace and see. Do you pick up your pace too, Zahir?
Oh, I am matching pace with you every step of the way.
Okay. So I think that is comforting to me. So I'm just going towards the shadow and I'm like almost trying to cast my bumbling lights further than I normally would to try to catch this in the shadow before it moves to another shadow. And I feel like I round a pillar and it's like dark corner. And then the bumbling lights just kind of float over and illuminate on it. Like, cause I feel like some of them light up and some of them go dark and they kind of alternate. And so the lights ripple over to this corner. What do I see?
In the corner, as the lights kind of flash, you see what looks like a caterpillar, but it's not. It's a cat, and a caterpillar had a baby type of looking creature. It is dark and shadowy looking, and it has 6 legs, like it has like more legs like a caterpillar, but it looks like a cat. And it has multiple tails. It's got like 6, 7 tails. It looks crazy, and its eyes are kind of looming and glowing as it looks at you.
I'm gonna crouch down. Do you need help?
Help me, Grimrose. Help.
And then it kind of like stands on all 6 legs, like, you know, when a cat gets scared, and all the tails kind of burrow underneath it, and then they pop back up and it runs up the staircase.
I don't think that's what needs our help. But maybe we should follow it.
I think that's a great idea, and I start racing out after it.
You run. Do you run as well, Violet, as you see like Zahir booking it?
Yeah, I'd probably get caught off guard and just like, oh, and then run after.
The 2 of you run up to this top of this platform of this staircase, and immediately you see what looks like ghosts circling around a tinier ghost. There's like one little ghost that's like on the floor, and it's like curled up a little bit, and there's like these big kind of like slightly intimidating looking ghosts like going around it in a circle. It doesn't really look like they're doing anything to it. They're just like going around it in a circle.
Can we hear anything? Like, can we hear the ghosts talking to each other or to the one in the middle?
You don't hear any, you just hear like ghost noises. Like that's what it sounds like. And on the wall, actually, Violet, as you're looking closer, there's like a shadow of a rose on the wall. And all of a sudden you hear like this loud, like bang noise. What do the 2 of you do? I'll give you a moment before.
I'd probably freeze because I'm taking in this whole room. I'm seeing ghosts for the first time. My Grimrose, I'm assuming, on the wall.
Yeah.
And an explosion. I'm trying to get my bearings. So if there's an explosion, I probably just freeze.
Zahir, what do you do?
Is this bang coming from a certain place? Can I determine where it's from?
Ooh, you can roll to see if you can determine where it's coming from.
That's what I'll do. Unlike Violet, Zahir's calm and almost grave. Like the joking nature of the run has been taken out. It's serious time now. And I'm going to try and find the source of this bang.
What do you think will help you here? Or you're going to cast magic, or are you just listening?
I'm just going to listen for now.
Okay.
But we'll see if magic is needed. I'm inquisitive,
Mm-hmm.
and I would think susceptible counts in this case.
In what
'Cause
way?
shit keeps happening. I've now experienced ghosts, magic flames. Like, I've had a lot of experience with various different things at this point. More
Okay.
things seem to happen. I feel like
Oh,
I'm not caught off guard. That's the thing. Because of my
Mm.
susceptibility.
gotcha.
Uh.
Okay, I love it.
I have wild eyes. Does that count?
I will actually allow this in this case because, you think of like a creature looking in the dark. Like I could see that being like
That's
Kinda.
exactly the vibe.
in this
is the Grim Tower.
circumstance because of the situation. It makes sense actually because you're like a
Yes.
beast creature. Part
Yeah.
Since I admire Zahir, does that count or no?
I'll allow
This is-
that.
Taking action.
This is the Grim Tower. My favorite.
100% the Grim Tower, yeah. And the reason why is also applicable here. So
Right.
6.
6. I'm very close to my mother because she never let me be alone when I was scared, and I think I'm doing the same thing for Violet here. I'm not letting her be alone.
I'll allow it. So that gives you a 7.
Let's do this. Finally.
20 critical success. All right. Tell us what happens and then how you go about hearing this. I'll tell you, and I guess you want to know the direction of where it's coming from. It is coming from above you. So if you want to describe what that looks like to you. And then also you get to change or give, it makes the most sense, Violet as a different attribute here.
The moment we arrive, my eyes start darting around because, yeah, I'm kind of like a bit of a wild animal. I'm taking in as much as possible at once. And then the bang hits. Immediately, I hear where it's coming from, and before my eyes and my face can like drift up to the ceiling, I have taken like 2 protective steps towards Violet. Not oppressively so. I'm not attached to her, but close enough that if she needed anything, if someone did anything to her, I'd be right there. And then I gaze up slowly, and I pat Violet's shoulder to make her do the same.
You look up, both of you looking up, and there are these 4 giant bloom plant-like things. If you had Allegory with you, he'd probably know immediately what those things are, but you don't know what they are. They look like giant balloons, and they're like pulsating, and there's like weird vines around them, and if you follow where they're going, like the vines go up and around, and like it's just they're massive, and it looks like one is about to explode.
I'm wondering if I could do a terrible thing. Violet, would you dislike it if I said that you hate being alone?
No, I don't think I would hate. I think that makes sense.
Right.
So add it to hate.
Yep.
Yeah. Hate being alone. I like that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like as soon as you touch my shoulder, it like snaps me out of that freeze.
What do you do, Violet?
So these are bursting through the walls now?
They're above you, these big balloons. They're on top, like above you. They look like
Okay.
they're growing and they're pulsating.
Can I make out what it is? Like, it's just a balloon?
You could make a roll. It is a type of plant, it looks like.
Okay. It's clearly not a safe thing for us to be around.
You're not sure. You're not sure. I mean, you can make the assumption that it is, but you'd have to roll to know what it is to know if it's safe to be around, per se.
I guess what I want to ask is if there's anything flammable in this room.
The plants are the big balloon plants above you are definitely look like they would be flammable. Everyone's hair probably flammable. clothing, probably flammable. Everything else seems like it's not. For the most part, there's not very much flammable stuff in this space. It's just the plants that are growing on the roof and the two of you and Zahir.
I am going, and I mean, Zahir might take this the wrong way. I'm going to push Zahir very hard away from me.
Okay, back down the stairs.
Well, not to push him down the stairs, but to like to give some distance.
I mean, you could motion him to go down the stairs. You don't have to like push him down the stairs, is what I'm saying, for sure.
I think instinctively I would push.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't motion. I would probably just push Zahir.
You push Zahir, you're kind of like, I don't know if you'd be caught off guard by that, but like she's kind of pushing you down the stairs. Not like pushing you down the stairs and hurting in a hurting way, just like shoving you a little.
I tumble over and over. No, I am caught off guard by this, but I quickly catch my feet.
No, you got to roll a dex save, bro.
Can I put a caveat of like, you would see in my eyes, there's like determination and fear. So there's like, it's very much like maybe a wild look, but there's a reason for why I'm pushing you.
Both got wild eyes going on right now.
About like a couple steps down, I catch all 4 limbs. Like I fall to all 4s.
Okay.
And I sort of growl a little bit.
Yeah, we see a little an animalistic side of Zahir. And Violet, what do you do?
As soon as I push Zahir, I'm gonna spin around and aim up at these undulating plant balloons.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna make sure my back is to Zahir, and I'm gonna cast Sunfire Burst.
All right.
Because I want. The description is create a burst of fire to distract and distort vision. I kind of want to catch these on fire though.
This spell is more of a distraction spell than a catch things on fire, but if it crits or something, then it could have that extra effect of catching on fire.
Well, let me just message
burst
you.
of fire to distract and distort vision, because it's more, the purpose of it is more for distraction and distortion, right?
Well, I sent you DM really fast.
Oh dear, I'm worried.
Oh, yeah, but that was a situation.
Okay.
I'll allow it for the circumstance because of what happened. Maybe you think that that's how it works. So yeah, let's do it.
I think that's what my brain is going through. Like, oh,
if this fails, it will be very bad for you. But if it's successful, it will do what you want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of us.
So I guess I would say scrappy.
Yeah.
And cunning.
Yeah.
If could I have researched this plant at some point? Or seen something about this plant?
Probably not.
Okay.
Unless you know what it is, and it would have to be a roll for it.
I have no idea what's going on. I want to be clear about that. I have very little clue what's happening. But it seems like Violet is making a very quick, firm decision.
We'll see if it pays off. I would be
deciding things.
I know I do hate deciding things. I was gonna say I'm making this is the most decisive.
So that's a negative.
That would be a negative. It would take you down one.
But I do feel like that.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Applies.
Yeah.
So then that's 1. We're back down to 1.
You're back down to 1.
I admire Zahir, so I'm trying to protect Zahir.
I will allow that. Yeah.
The Grim Tower.
Yeah.
Grimrose.
Grimrose. Yeah.
Honestly, I think that just discerning eyes.
Don't think discerning eyes are gonna help you in this situation.
All right, so
let me look at. Did you have cunning in there?
Yeah, we got cunning
and insightful.
We didn't do insightful.
I think that applies here. And then
would the memory I have
circumstantial? Yes, I will allow that.
Okay, that's 7.
7.
That went
That's
up
a
really
good probability. Yeah, it's a good probability.
That's
I kinda
including the
hope this goes
-1.
bad.
That's including the
Jeez.
-1, yeah.
God, the Grimrose is powerful.
I'm gonna just like I'm like assuming a pose. Like Zahir sees me kind of like get my center of gravity and kind of like plant my feet.
The way
Um,
Violet's doing this, it looks like they've done it before.
And I'm gonna cast Sunfire Burst.
All right, we'll see how it goes. We have a high probability of succeeding here.
Oh, jeez.
23, biggest crit
Ding.
ever from today. What is, you guys are critting nonstop. Okay. Yeah. Describe to us what happens, all the jazz, and then also you get to give Zahir another characteristic.
Here's that like what 12
You
traits.
can also
now?
change one. That is also an option.
Yeah, you can
Ooh.
switch something out for something else.
I might need to do
You
that.
could also add to my likes and hates instead of my personality.
That's true. Maybe I'll do that. You gave me a hate. Maybe I'll give you a hate.
Thank
You hate
you.
being pushed. Okay, so can I ask Maggie, does this actually do what I was thinking it would
Yeah,
do?
yeah, it'll do it. It's a critical. You tell me. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to some extent.
Okay.
But the thing that you
so
were asking, 100% can happen.
I plant my feet and then I put both of my hands out and open up my palms, and then you see like the cloak moves and my arms are exposed, and you see like red embers kind of start burning up my arms and cracks like lava until it reaches my palms, and then just a burst of fire comes out of both of my palms on the ceiling, and I hold my hands up and the orbs of the plants that are on the ceiling catch on fire and pop very loudly. And is there anything inside of these?
Yes. As it pops, you can see like these like it's like molten globs of something sticky start coming down from the ceiling. It looks like if that hits you, those are going to be like hot bulbs of something. And then there's also something else that looks paper-esque, and they're very like rainbow colored, and they look like those things burn up fast. They like immediately sizzle, don't fall down, and the embers come down. But like these big globs of something are definitely catching on fire, and they're gonna come down on you.
I would like
and
to
some
cast
of
a
it are
spell.
going to splash onto Zahir as well, because it's like this massive radius.
I would like to cast a spell.
Sure, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to drench the area around Violet. Like, I will rush back up to Violet, hold her this time, and not let go. Sorry. And I'm going to make sure that there is basically a large amount of water falling directly upon us so we don't burn to death.
Ooh, okay, let's see if you do this successfully.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think Inquisitive counts here. This is helping others, so that's one. I feel like I'm describing this kind of wildly, but I don't know if the eyes would count. I'm caring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is showing off that I'm trustworthy.
Caring, trustworthy.
I worry about Persephone because she's pushy and I just got pushed. No, that's not.
No.
I would
don't-
I would say scarred, because this is something that would absolutely scar the skin, and so being aware of like that and what.
But you were
experienced-
scarred not by fire.
I was scarred by water.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think like
Spellcasting.
the applicableness here is a little different.
Mhm. I'm broad. I'm literally.
you do
trying to
helping
cover
others?
my body. I did do helping others. That was the first one.
Okay. Where you have 4?
I'm broad.
Yeah,
And
broad.
I'm literally covering Violet with my body.
Oh, abroad, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Grim Tower.
Yep, your favorite place.
You're angry because you hated being pushed down the steps.
I doubt that. But I am Order of the Flame.
Yes.
666.
Would me physically being slender help too? Because it's less of
Oh.
a
Yes.
space.
Yeah. That actually would apply.
7?
7. That's a
love to
circumstantial bonus there. And for people that don't know, because they're probably like, Order of the Flame sounds like fire. Order of the Flame does fire and water abilities.
I reach into my my vest and pull out a flask of water, and I dash it upon the ground. You got one?
Yeah, I think your best friend hates fire. That's,
Oh yeah, I've probably.
we have a pretty deep bond about that and have had conversations about that. I don't.
I
know
would
if
allow it
that's
actually
applicable,
for
but-
circumstantial. This gives you an 8. You are. I feel like there's a very low probability of you failing this. Like you have to roll a 1.
On the plus side, if I do roll a bunch of ones, we both die. That would be a fun time.
Who would die?
Only a 14.
14.
Great. I'll
All
take it.
right. Mark a success on that spell, and paste the spell in chat too for people, and describe to us what happens.
I reach into my vest, I pull out a small flask of water and start spreading it out around us. And I'm staring directly at Violet. It looks kind of frightening, honestly, because there's the wild eyes are happening, but they're also glowing at this point. The fact that I just got pushed is kind of setting me on edge, so I'm probably a bit hairier than I'm usually. And there's one hand like reaching out around Violet, one hand reaching out, and suddenly there's like a crack of thunder, I think, as a cloud forms above our heads and we start getting rained upon. Like it's a rather bad storm.
Yeah, and the rain washes over you all. These bulbs and the little splotches of whatever came out of them are now just damp, gross looking, burnt bulbs. And you hear a bunch of people scurry away. Some of them like giggling and laughing. That's what you hear. And that is where we're going to end today's episode to some extent. We are going to have a couple more scenes. One, which is when Persephone and Allegory, when you get out of the forest, when you get closer to the school, Allegory, you are greeted by what looks like a person who is of the nurturing spirits. They look like maybe someone that is part of the dean's group. Like they they are a runner, and they've come to hand you a message, and basically it is a pink slip, similar to one that Persephone has seen many times, and it is to go to the dean's office.
I guess wish me luck with your mother, Persephone.
You want me to walk you there?
If you want, I think I'll be okay either way. But if you want,
I'll come with you.
As the two of you walk to the dean's office together, Violet, did you choose what characteristic you wanted to give to Zahir yet?
Yeah, I asked Werewolf. I was saying under hate, a lack of control.
Ooh.
Because when I pushed Zahir, I don't think Zahir enjoyed that and then also growled. So I'm just taking from that.
It makes total sense to me. I mean, there's a lot
Alright.
in his life that he's not in control of, and that scares him.
As long as you both agree to that sounds good to me. And I think there was one earlier, Tyler, that you and Strange figured out. It was the silver tongue one I think you wanted to adjust.
yeah, I had messaged in the Discord. I was thinking something more along the lines of persuasive, eloquent, or well-spoken, just because I think it's more descriptive than like on the nose. Because I'm like, his tongue's silver.
Which of those do you think you'd like? Strange like that, and the two of you guys can agree on which one.
I think persuasive is good.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe on the way, since we're walking together, I might even be like giving pointers on like what
Your
to
mother.
do to talk to my mother.
Mhm.
And Violet, as you when you get back to your room, perhaps maybe you and Persephone are both in your room, you have a little basket that is sitting in front of your door, and there's also a book in it. And what is your favorite fruit?
Ooh.
What is Violet's favorite fruit? And you can add this as a bonus, like in your on your character sheet.
I'm trying to come up with a combo word in my head of two fruit. It's sounds funny. A piango.
Piango. Sure. Add a
Like
piango.
a peach mango.
A peach mango? Oh gosh, that would probably be so tasty. I love peaches and
Yeah.
mangoes. A piango is your favorite fruit. You see a basket of piangos and it looks like a book that's in there. And I'm going to send you what this says and if you want to read it out loud. But this is what you and Persephone see when you arrive at your room. You don't have to share the letter with Persephone if you don't want, but...
So did we already come back from the Grim Tower, or is this just like a later?
We're gonna say later. Yeah.
Okay.
This is like a fast forward.
Okay. I want to read it, obviously. I think I'm gonna read it first before I decide if I want to share it with Persephone. It says, "Hi, Violet. Welcome to the Academy. We hope you have lots of fun here, and the little prank didn't upset you. Really amazing the Grimrose is here. Did you know that the tree in the Archive of Reverie was here before they made the Grimrose Academy? There are also a number of stories of ghosts in the Grim Tower. We'll use some as reference. I know you like books. Here are the ones I found the information in if you're interested. Hex meow, hex meow."
And that is where we end today's episode. So thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll go a little around so people can say where you can find them at and what they're up to. But of course, if you enjoyed this story and you'd like to see more, we would super duper appreciate it if you support us here on Roll For It. There are several different ways you can do so. First and foremost, it is similar to Thunder Cabbage, who is our supporter today. You can head on over to our Patreon. And there's a whole bunch of rewards right now. There's NPC name post up, so you could be one of the characters in this game if you put up some names over there. And then also there are Ascension MP3s and after shows. The one for last episode is out right now, and we are going to actually go record an after show after this. We also have our Twitch sub, which you can head on over to twitch.tv/rollforit if you're not already there, because if you're watching live, you're here. You can subscribe and get access to emotes as well as the VODs in advance. On YouTube, you become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes as well. And if you are a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or a Patreon, you get access to our Discord, where I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion happening. And if you're a patron supporter at Legend tier and above, you get to affect the games sometimes. So in this case, the Legend tiers played a little prank on our lovely Grimrose today, which was a lot of fun. And of course, you can rep us. It's getting a little cold outside. You might want to keep a little warm. You can rep Roll For It by heading on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/rollforit and get yourself some warm gear. As well as we hope to see you tomorrow for Out of Control, which is a Chord Warriors one-shot. It is a brand new game. If you've never seen it before over on the Kickstarter, you'll want to. And Katie will be joining us again. I'll be back, as well as we'll be joined by Little Red Dot and, of course, Trooper and Nerdburger Craig, who is the creator, and he's going to be GMing us, where we're going to be playing computer programs inside of a computer that is crashing. Will we survive? Taking bets now. Probably not. And with that, I'll go around and let everyone say where they can find him at. First and foremost, we'll start with our Grimrose. Violet, where can people find you at Play Kitty Play when you are not getting pranks played on you? Which is really funny because in the pre-show we were talking about pranks.
Pranks.
Yeah.
Dang.
I didn't bring it up.
Yeah. Had a sixth sense about it.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can catch me on Twitch at Katie Peters Plays and on Twitter at Play Katie Play. I have 2 podcasts. Katie hasn't seen that in Quantum Drive. If you want to listen to me talk in your ear at the grocery store or when you're driving around. Spooktober is coming up on my channel. So for the whole month of October on Twitch, I play a lot of horror games. I have a heart rate monitor. We make a whole thing out of it. So if you want to come hang out and join in the scares for October, come do that. And yeah, I'll be here tomorrow for Out of Control. And I am so excited to be inside of a computer. You have no idea. We're going to hack the planet, I'm pretty sure. So
I mean, I'm not. My character is not a hacker of planets, but you can.
I'm going to try
I'll cheer you on while you're doing it. It'll be great. I'll sing you a song. I'll sing the hacking song. That'll be.
I'm ready for that.
And Allegory, where can people find you at Apocalypto 12 when you are not having heartwarming moments with your father, and of course, you're one of your best friends.
Ah, yes. You can find me anywhere that Tyler Scheid exists, which is me, by the way. But primarily on my podcast called Go My Favorite Sports Team. I know it's a sports podcast, but it's for people that don't like sports and those that do as well. It's a very informative and comedic thing that I do. But yeah, follow me everywhere as apocalypse_12, and then obviously Go My Favorite Sports Team.
All right. And Persephone, aka Strange Like That, where can people find you at when you are not being very confused by your mother and also realizing you have some really good friends?
Aww. So you can summon me through your Ouija board if you are so inclined, but otherwise follow me online as @strangelikeThat on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebooks, my website, TikTok occasionally. You can also hear me over at the 12-Sided Stories podcast, and I'm actually about to wrap up GMing another season of our show Unquiet Blood, which is a game of Vampire the Masquerade 5e.
Nice. And last but not least, we have Zahir, aka Werewolf Feels. Where can people find you at when you are not trying to protect your friends from danger?
Oh, I'm always trying to protect my friends from danger. I unmuted on Zoom, but not on Discord again. I'm always trying to protect my friends from danger, and I'm always clicking the wrong button at the wrong time. Hi, I'm Werewolf Feels. You can find me online at Werewolf Feels practically anywhere. Right now, I'm paring things down as I'm getting into the busy season at work, but there are plenty of places you can still hang out with me if you wish. Over on the podcast world, the podcast that I'm currently in, the Atomless, is still running, and we're still having a grand old time if you've ever wanted me to play a sexy lava monster. Also, I'll be joining Renegade Games for the month of darkness for a Hunter the Reckoning 2-shot that just got announced. I forgot what the dates are, but you can find information all about the world, the month of darkness, to celebrate the world of darkness over on Hunter the Reckoning's website and also on their Twitter. And we'll be seeing each other on their Twitch channel, I should hope. That's it for me. What about you, Maggie? What are you up to when you're not machinating in the backgrounds and planning grand witchery?
I mean, that's just my life every day, you know. I wish. But I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do a lot of things on the internet. I'll be right back here tomorrow, so I'm very excited to play a program. And of course, I do a lot of stuff, so just follow me over there. And I make games and video games for a living. I made Witches in Spellcraft, and I'm working on the 2nd edition, which is going to be an advanced version with a lot more rules. And then I'm also working on a game called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. And with that, we are going to go record an after show for you all over on our Patreon, and we hope that you have a lovely, lovely week. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Grimrose Academy. Toodles.